A mysterious beginning begins to unfold. Cha Yunwoo sits there in silence, his gaze locked firmly onto the phone in his hand. In his hand, Cha Yunwoo holds an old photograph, the face of his missing younger brother appearing as a poignant reminder. Cha Yunwoo stares thoughtfully at the photo. The pain of the past has never truly faded. 3 years ago, Cha Yunwoo's mother passed away, consumed by the agony of failing to find her missing son. Relatives comfort Cha Yunwoo at the funeral, all believing she has finally found peace in the afterlife. Cha Yunwoo stands in the middle of the room, surrounded by mountains of documents related to the search for missing persons. Cha Yunwoo's hands tremble as he flips through missing person notices, his fragile hope fading with every page. Cha Yunwoo turns his head, his eyes filled with weariness and disillusionment as he stares into empty space. A crumpled missing person flyer is discarded, the final period to his hopeless efforts. Cha Yunwoo decides to give up, leaving Korea to enlist as a mercenary in Africa. Cha Yunwoo opens a box of mementos where the last belongings left behind by his brother are kept. Inside lies a pocket watch and a photograph of his brother dressed in strange, battle-worn armor. Cha Yunwoo wonders if his brother had been acting in a movie or if he had truly fallen into another world. This pocket watch was the very gift Cha Yunwoo gave his brother before his college entrance exam. Cha Yunwoo gazes softly at the watch, lost in nostalgia for the past. Cha Yunwoo offers a faint smile, recalling the moment he presented the gift to his brother. The younger brother happily shows off the gift, teasing Cha Yunwoo for his thoughtfulness. Cha Yunwoo, feeling annoyed by the teasing, demands his brother return the item. The brother laughs and jokes, deciding to keep the watch rather than return it. Cha Yunwoo holds the watch in his hand, murmuring the name engraved upon it. Cha Yunwoo is stunned to see the watch, which was once broken, suddenly ticking again. Cha Yunwoo is startled, sensing that something highly abnormal is taking place. A mysterious message echoes from the watch, like the final words of his brother. Cha Yunwoo realizes in shock that this is no hallucination, as a powerful light erupts from the watch. A strange message appears from the year 2013, inviting Cha Yunwoo to enter a bizarre world. That world is no dream, a place where goblins, dwarves, and dragon souls exist. Standing out among them all is the Tower of the Sun God, rumored to be a place where humans can ascend to divinity. Cha Yunwoo decides to form a team to conquer the perilous tower. Cha Yunwoo cuts all ties with the real world, stepping into a journey fraught with hardships. Disaster strikes when an allied clan is completely annihilated. Amidst the ruins and flames, Cha Yunwoo recalls the painful memories of March 4th. Cha Yunwoo falls into an infinite void, surrounded by fragmented memories of fierce battles swirling about, reflecting the chaos in his mind. War erupts on September 19th. On the fiery battlefield, warriors brace themselves and draw their bows, ready for a ruthless confrontation. Suspicion sows the seeds of betrayal within the clan. By July 1st, Cha Yunwoo feels his body growing increasingly weak, as if bound by a deadly poison. By February 2018, Cha Yunwoo has become the sole survivor at Atria. Even after obtaining the elixir, he is surrounded by countless enemies and knows he cannot afford to show a single weakness. Cha Yunwoo stared at the floating status board, wondering if this was the beginning of a virtual reality game. Despite having just awakened, his power was still far too limited. The system triggered the cold-blooded trait, granting Cha Yunwoo immunity to all forms of mind control or brainwashing, a non-negligible advantage. Cha Yunwoo recalled the stories of Kalidas, the ancient dragon with whom he had formed a contract. The dragon's burning eyes seemed to haunt his mind still. Activating keen senses, all 5 of Cha Yunwoo's senses were enhanced to their maximum potential, a perfect combination for his naturally cold disposition. But what truly caught Cha Yunwoo's attention was insight. He clutched the pocket watch in his hand, the mysterious key that would lead the way for his upcoming journey. Cha Yunwoo decided to commit to this path. He tightened his grip on the watch, ready to face any challenge in this new world. Cha Yunwoo told himself he couldn't simply find a medicinal elixir and disappear. He still had debts that needed to be repaid. Amidst the glowing city streets, Cha Yunwoo received a call, the voice on the other end full of skepticism regarding his sudden plans. Cha Yunwoo responded only with a brief apology. He had decided to cut off all communication and erase any trace of his former life. Cha Yunwoo burned his military uniform and old backpack. He had sold all his assets, completing everything necessary before his departure. In their place, Cha Yunwoo prepared a new backpack filled with essentials, medicine, and the combat knives he was familiar with from his military days. Cha Yunwoo considered equipping firearms but abandoned the idea, realizing the inconvenience of constantly having to find ammunition. Under the sunset, Cha Yunwoo walked through the park, calculating the time that had passed since the first round began. Cha Yunwoo knew that those who started late could gain an advantage. He had to utilize hidden pieces to accumulate the maximum number of points. The moment had arrived. Cha Yunwoo looked at his watch, knowing that what he had been waiting for had finally appeared. A violent distortion of space occurred, and the air around Cha Yunwoo began to tremble. Darkness engulfed the area as a ghostly portal suddenly manifested right before Cha Yunwoo. The gate stood tall in mid-air, emitting a grim aura, marking the starting point of Cha Yunwoo's trial. Cha Yunwoo coldly declared that he would let those on the other side know exactly who they were messing with. Cha Yunwoo's gaze was firm. From this day on, his life would turn a new page, one filled with peril but also boundless opportunity. Without a moment's hesitation, Cha Yunwoo stepped straight into the blinding light of the portal. The system announced that Cha Yunwoo had officially set foot on the 0th floor, the starting point of the tutorial. Cha Yunwoo closed his eyes, sensing the strange energy enveloping his body. Everything here matched exactly what Cha Yunwoo had read in the diary, not a single detail was off. The tower is a test for players to become gods, and the place where Cha Yunwoo stood was the very first trial to prove his worthiness. Behind this door were the very people who had harmed his family. He silently vowed to end them soon. Cha Yunwoo's eyes were cold and sharp, his resolve was set, and he would let no one stand in his way. Cha Yunwoo checked his gear. He knew he had to achieve the highest possible score and could not afford to fail this test. Cha Yunwoo put on his mask. He needed to collect every hidden piece to perfect himself before officially beginning his climb of the tower. Amidst the dark void, a magic circle suddenly flared to life. Ibulkara appeared, letting out a bizarre, twisted laugh to welcome Cha Yunwoo. Without letting his guard down, Cha Yunwoo immediately took a defensive stance, his sharp eyes locked onto Ibulkara, his hands gripping his weapons, ready for any situation. Ibulkara maintained a mocking attitude, asking Cha Yunwoo to lower his weapons to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings between the two. Ibulkara introduced himself as the manager and guide for this floor, not forgetting to offer a suggestive invitation regarding a fated encounter. Cha Yunwoo remained highly vigilant, questioning the reliability of Ibulkara's advice. Ibulkara realized that Cha Yunwoo seemed to already know a bit about his identity, feeling that communicating with a masked man like Cha Yunwoo would be much easier. Ibulkara began explaining the structure of the trial, divided into 7 blocks from A to G, with each area containing distinct challenges that Cha Yunwoo had to overcome. Ibulkara emphasized that the higher the score, the greater the future rewards would be, further reinforcing Cha Yunwoo's motivation. Cha Yunwoo focused on the time limit. Ibulkara confirmed that he had exactly 1 month to complete all the trial blocks. Ibulkara mentioned that 1 week had already passed in this round, extending his clawed hand while waiting for Cha Yunwoo's decision on whether to start immediately. Cha Yunwoo understood clearly that the leading group had already left him behind by an insurmountable distance, but that was something he had anticipated from the beginning. Although advised to form a team, Ibulkara admitted to Cha Yunwoo that going solo would help him achieve a significantly higher score. Ibulkara flashed a cryptic smile, his eyes glowing as if trying to see right through Cha Yunwoo's soul. Ibulkara asserted that the tower would adjust its scoring system to fairly account for every player's contribution, so Cha Yunwoo didn't need to worry too much. Ibulkara analyzed 2 common types of players: those who are arrogant and rely on their skills only to perish, or those who become incredible legends. Following the warning, Ibulkara immediately declared that the test would begin right at that moment. A system notification appeared, demanding that Cha Yunwoo prove the mettle of someone aspiring to become a god to climb to the top of the tower. The countdown timer started, and without a moment's hesitation, Cha Yunwoo advanced deep into the dark passageway ahead. As Cha Yunwoo's footsteps touched the starting line, the magical signals on the floor lit up, signaling that the trial had begun. Cha Yunwoo crossed the boundary, his concentration reaching its peak as he entered the danger zone. The system notified Cha Yunwoo that he had entered Block A, requiring him to disable or destroy all the traps located there. A sharp blade swept across. Cha Yunwoo reacted with lightning speed, leaning to dodge the surprise attack from the shadows. Cha Yunwoo silently cursed himself because the information from the journal was too vague, leaving him completely unprepared for the trap mechanisms in Block A. A barrage of arrows shot out from nowhere. Cha Yunwoo immediately used his backpack as a shield to block the lethal strike. A powerful impact followed, and Cha Yunwoo braced himself, enduring the immense force of the iron arrows embedding directly into his backpack. Realizing they were iron arrows, Cha Yunwoo gritted his teeth, his face clearly showing the tension under the pressure of the first trial. Cha Yunwoo quickly pressed himself against the wall, attempting to minimize his body's surface area to avoid subsequent waves of attacks. Another cold flash of light flew by, narrowly missing Cha Yunwoo in the confined space. Cha Yunwoo's eyes widened, he was fully focused on observing every minute movement of the traps surrounding him. Unable to stay on the defensive forever, Cha Yunwoo decided to launch a counterattack, charging straight into the rain of arrows to find a way out. Cha Yunwoo walks alone through a dark, blood-stained tunnel. A wave of excruciating pain strikes him, causing Cha Yunwoo to collapse as the system notifies him that the stun status has been activated. Despite the intense pain, his cold-blooded nature helps Cha Yunwoo regain his composure. He overcomes the stun effect and begins to adapt to the arrows embedded in his body. Cha Yunwoo thinks to himself that although he anticipated the danger, the reality is far harsher. If he keeps going like this, he will surely go insane soon. Without hesitation, Cha Yunwoo pulls out the arrow piercing his shoulder, determined to face this life-or-death trial. Cha Yunwoo steels himself, gritting his teeth as the arrow is pulled out amidst a low, pained groan. Cha Yunwoo uses a lighter to heat up the arrow, a brutal yet necessary method of first aid. The cauterized wound causes Cha Yunwoo to fall into a stunned state once again, but his cold-blooded nature keeps his mind from shattering. Cha Yunwoo stands up, weapons gripped firmly in both hands, ready for the battle for survival in the darkness. Cha Yunwoo realizes that the arrows are not firing randomly but are timed, accompanied by an extremely faint signal. In the pitch-black darkness, Cha Yunwoo understands that he cannot rely on his eyes, he must listen to the sound of rotating gears. Cha Yunwoo focuses intensely, waiting for the moment the gears turn to pinpoint the location and trajectory of the arrows. Activating his sensory perception skill, Cha Yunwoo closes his eyes, making every surrounding sound clearer than ever before. The sound of gears echoes through the silent space, and Cha Yunwoo has finally caught the rhythm of the trap. Cha Yunwoo exclaims with excitement, he has found the key mechanism of this trap. Immediately, an arrow streaks through the air, tearing through the darkness. Cha Yunwoo is lightning fast, hurling his weapon into the stone wall to intercept the arrow's trajectory. Cha Yunwoo's weapon strikes with force, showering the tunnel in sparks. The deflected arrows fall all around him. Cha Yunwoo has successfully neutralized the attack. Cha Yunwoo smiles, he has now fully mastered the art of tracking the arrow's origins. Cha Yunwoo lunges forward, his eyes sharp, ready for a counterattack. As he dodges a blue arrow from the side, the system records his agility stat increasing by 1 point. Parrying an arrow with his weapon, Cha Yunwoo's strength stat increases by another point due to his quick reaction. Cha Yunwoo leaps to dodge, every move helps him hone himself within this labyrinth. Struck by a golden arrow, Cha Yunwoo doesn't fall, instead, he receives an increase in his stamina from the system. The status window appears, and Cha Yunwoo looks on with satisfaction as his strength, agility, and stamina stats steadily climb. Blood streaming down his neck, Cha Yunwoo remains undeterred and continues to move forward. Cha Yunwoo is troubled by the lack of ways to increase his mana, but he remains determined to utilize everything to optimize his power. In the shadows, a mysterious figure watches Cha Yunwoo with a twisted smile. The mysterious figure observes through a surveillance monitor, captivated by the uniqueness and potential of Cha Yunwoo, whom he considers the first specimen of his kind. The mysterious figure confirms with certainty that Cha Yunwoo is the person he has been searching for. Mysterious figure glues his eyes to the screen, watching Cha Yunwoo. He muses that even if Cha Yunwoo passes the aptitude test, countless dangers still await him. The mysterious figure offers an enigmatic smile, convinced that this tutorial will soon become an incredibly interesting play. Holding a monocle, the mysterious figure gleefully watches a series of images showing various players struggling in the labyrinth. Cha Yunwoo's status window appears clearly: Strength 29, Agility 33, Stamina 30, and Mana 21. Notably, Draconic Eye's perception is at 0%, while Sensory Perception has reached 8.3%. Cha Yunwoo checks his info and realizes that, except for mana, all his other stats have grown tremendously in just one day. This is a truly astonishing result. Not stopping there, Cha Yunwoo feels a profound change taking place within his body. Cha Yunwoo clenches his fist, his physical strength, speed, endurance, and destructive power have all surged forward. As soon as Cha Yunwoo places his hand on the door, a strange light begins to radiate. The system notifies him that the healing process has begun. Golden ribbons of energy wrap around Cha Yunwoo, soothing his pain. Cha Yunwoo is stunned to find his body enveloped in a powerful healing magic. Cha Yunwoo realizes that this is the safe zone for players to rest. The magical light gradually fades, revealing the wounds on Cha Yunwoo's body slowly closing up. Finally, Cha Yunwoo can breathe a sigh of relief after days of non-stop fighting. In that momentary lapse of concentration, Cha Yunwoo suddenly senses a strange presence right beside him. A mysterious figure appears, flashing a challenging grin as he greets Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo recoils in shock, remaining on high alert against the stranger who just appeared out of nowhere. Cha Yunwoo wonders how the stranger could have approached him undetected even while his heightened sensory skills were active. Cha Yunwoo ponders deeply, a thought flashing through his mind. Cha Yunwoo blurts out, questioning if this could be a merchant. The mysterious figure introduces himself as a wandering merchant, not forgetting to sweet-talk his potential customer. Occasionally, merchants appear at the endpoint to provide items to players in exchange for a fair price. Mysterious figure presents a list of items ranging from food, recovery potions, and skill books to rare ancient artifacts, claiming he can provide anything in this world. Cha Yunwoo carefully examines the list, his fingers gliding over the bizarre items. Medusa's venom, the golden goat's horn, Tiamat's left eye, all of them are incredibly rare artifacts. Cha Yunwoo calculates, deciding he isn't at the stage where he needs to rely on artifacts or skills yet, so it is better to focus on physical training. Suddenly, Cha Yunwoo finds exactly what he needs. It is a reset ticket, allowing the user to return to a specific point in time that they desire. Cha Yunwoo asks about the payment method and the mysterious figure nonchalantly replies that he only accepts physical stats as currency. Cha Yunwoo is stunned. Mineral water costs a whopping 2 points of strength. This is nothing short of daylight robbery. Even so, Cha Yunwoo decides to make his offer. He has something he wants to buy and the mysterious figure is willing to listen. The mysterious figure smiles suggestively, proposing that he use all the stats accumulated in Area A as payment. Unfazed, Cha Yunwoo counters with a request to buy a ticket to reset the entire Area A. Cha Yunwoo confronts the area manager, confirming the details regarding the reset ticket he has been searching for. The manager is surprised that Cha Yunwoo was the first person to request this item instead of promotion rewards, but he calmly replies, keeping his true motives to himself. The manager flashes a cryptic smile, sizing up Cha Yunwoo as an incredibly intriguing participant. Process is simple. Cha Yunwoo just needs to tear the ticket at any location to be summoned back to the starting area. The manager takes his leave, not forgetting to wish that he and Cha Yunwoo will meet again in the near future. Cha Yunwoo stands silently amidst the labyrinth, preparing for his next move. The system announces that all stats Cha Yunwoo has accumulated will be revoked as payment. He can clearly feel his power fading from his body. In exchange, Cha Yunwoo receives 10 anti-reset tickets and grips them firmly in his hands. Cha Yunwoo tears the ticket apart, triggering its special effect. A brilliant light envelopes Cha Yunwoo as the ticket is activated. A blinding stream of light swallows Cha Yunwoo's vision, signaling that the reset process has begun. Cha Yunwoo reappears at the Sky Terrace, the starting point of the tutorial. The challenge at the Sky Terrace begins, and Cha Yunwoo is determined to maximize his stat gains here. Cha Yunwoo dashes forward at breakneck speed, his silhouette blurring past the stone walls. Arrows rain down on him, but Cha Yunwoo dodges them with expert precision, missing by a hair's breadth. During this final tutorial run, Cha Yunwoo focuses intensely, sharpening his senses through the repetition of the course. Cha Yunwoo activates the Draconic Eyes, a skill allowing him to tap into a portion of the true sight belonging to the ancient dragon Kalidas. Instantly, the Draconic Eyes strip away all color from his vision, leaving only sharp monochrome outlines. Everything appears as basic skeletal sketches, a phenomenon Cha Yunwoo calls Yahello. Cha Yunwoo has reached the end of the path. He checks the system notification, realizing he finished in just 4 hours, a massive achievement compared to the 34 hours it took before. Even though his stats have increased significantly, he reminds himself that he could still be easily killed by others. Knowing that top-tier players are closing in on Blocky, Cha Yunwoo resolves to take this race seriously so he isn't left behind. Cha Yunwoo steps into the boss room of Block A. With iron resolve, Cha Yunwoo declares that he will sweep through both Block A and B. Cha Yunwoo sprints into the dark corridor, weapon in hand. He leaps to dodge arrows flying toward him at terrifying speeds. The pace of the battle is faster than anticipated, forcing Cha Yunwoo to counterattack relentlessly. Cha Yunwoo tells himself he cannot afford to slow down now. Focusing all his senses, Cha Yunwoo prepares to land the decisive blow. Cha Yunwoo is hyper-focused, exploiting every opening to navigate the labyrinth riddled with lethal traps. Neath Cha Yunwoo's feet lie countless sharp spikes. One misstep would mean certain death. Unfazed, Cha Yunwoo quickly makes a bold decision. With lightning-fast reflexes, he charges straight into the danger zone, using his momentum to evade the deadly blades. Landing safely, Cha Yunwoo instantly regains his combat stance. The system notifies him that his agility stat has just increased by 1 point thanks to his skillful dodge. Just then, a violent flame erupts, blocking Cha Yunwoo's path. Without backing down, Cha Yunwoo tightens his grip on his weapon, his determined gaze piercing through the wall of fire. Cha Yunwoo swings his blade, tearing through the scorching heat to move forward. Due to his cold-blooded nature, Cha Yunwoo has developed fire resistance and his heightened sensory skills have been upgraded as well. A sudden burst of killing intent surges forth and Cha Yunwoo immediately goes on high alert. Cha Yunwoo pivots to dodge a powerful strike from an opponent lurking in the shadows. Even after dodging the lethal blow, Cha Yunwoo still feels the overwhelming pressure from his opponent. Cha Yunwoo observes the opponent standing tall right in front of him. Cha Yunwoo narrows his eyes, focusing on analyzing the strange entity standing before him. It is a bronze scarecrow, a construct capable of perfectly mimicking every action and skill of a player. Cha Yunwoo understands that this is a trial he must overcome if he wants to enter the boss room. Cha Yunwoo grips his dagger tightly, determined to pierce through the bronze scarecrow's defenses. Activating the Draconic Eyes, Cha Yunwoo's eyes blaze with light, seeing through every opening in the bronze scarecrow. Cha Yunwoo charges into the fray, searching for a fatal weakness on the bronze scarecrow's body. Under the vision of the Draconic Eyes, Cha Yunwoo has identified the location of the bronze scarecrow's vital sensor. Cha Yunwoo swings his dagger, landing a precise strike on the bronze scarecrow's weak point. A voice rings out, reminding Cha Yunwoo to target the sensors to neutralize the bronze scarecrow. Cha Yunwoo immediately senses something amiss. He doesn't hesitate and continues his assault. Cha Yunwoo suddenly realizes that the one controlling the bronze scarecrow is the same person he sensed earlier. Cha Yunwoo doesn't give his opponent a chance to react. He closes the distance and delivers the finishing blow. The dagger in Cha Yunwoo's hand plunges straight into the bronze scarecrow, triggering a powerful energy explosion. The bronze scarecrow is completely defeated, dissolving into a blinding flash of light. A woman observes the battle, unable to believe her eyes as she sees Cha Yunwoo take down the opponent so easily. Astonishment is written all over the woman's face as she gasps in utter shock. In the dim, hazy confines of the labyrinth, Yul quietly followed the silhouette of Cha Yunwoo as he pressed forward. Suddenly, Cha Yunwoo turned around and faced Yul directly, catching her completely off guard. Cha Yunwoo calmly explained that thanks to his keen senses, he had discovered the mechanics behind the bronze puppets, a feat rarely achieved by ordinary players. Yul was stunned. Suspicion surged within her mind as she wondered how on earth Cha Yunwoo could have known such a thing. Unable to hide her wariness, Yul bluntly questioned Cha Yunwoo about his true intentions toward her. Cha Yunwoo retorted with a question of his own, making the atmosphere between them tenser than ever. Faced with her intense questioning, Cha Yunwoo remained composed, denying any malicious intent. Yul didn't let up, continuing to press Cha Yunwoo on how he managed to identify the mechanisms of the puppets. Cha Yunwoo revealed that it was by seeing the magical threads surrounding the puppets that he was able to grasp their weaknesses. Cha Yunwoo did not hesitate to express his special interest in Yul's magic control abilities. He suggested that Yul teach him that technique, viewing it as an opportunity to improve his own magical manipulation. Yul was taken aback by Cha Yunwoo's abrupt proposal, and she didn't hesitate to counter with a conditional agreement. Cha Yunwoo offered to help Yul escape from this place of confinement in return, a price he considered quite a bargain. Yul stood frozen, her eyes wide as she stared at Cha Yunwoo, unable to believe what she had just heard. Seeing Yul refuse, Cha Yunwoo remained unfazed and immediately turned to leave. Yul hurriedly grabbed hold of Cha Yunwoo, her skepticism regarding his magic control capabilities still lingering. Cha Yunwoo firmly asserted that he had no reason to lie about his own abilities. Yul still could not accept the fact that someone who couldn't control magic could destroy the bronze puppets so easily. Cha Yunwoo stood there, patiently waiting for Yul to reflect on the extraordinary power he had just displayed. Cha Yunwoo pondered the true identity of his companion while maintaining a calm exterior. Finally, Yul compromised and accepted the offer of help from Cha Yunwoo. Yul introduced herself and expressed her readiness to carry out Cha Yunwoo's request. Cha Yunwoo ordered Yul to follow him closely to clear the path, and Yul immediately agreed. Cha Yunwoo suddenly turned back, his golden eyes glowing with authority. Yul was startled, unable to understand why Cha Yunwoo had changed his attitude so abruptly. Cha Yunwoo coldly exposed Yul's true colors, stating that her current appearance was merely a facade. Cha Yunwoo asserted that Yul was not an ordinary person but someone hiding immense power behind the guise of a child. Cha Yunwoo demanded that Yul maintain a respectful attitude regardless of who she really was. Cha Yunwoo launched himself into the air, his cold blade swinging down with overwhelming force, aiming directly at the target below. Strike landed with a heavy blow. Cha Yunwoo held nothing back, pouring all his strength into one decisive slash. As soon as the attack ended, Cha Yunwoo quietly composed himself while Yul watched from behind with an expression of astonishment. Yul reminded Cha Yunwoo that they had arrived at Zone B and urged him to reveal his secrets. Yul did not hesitate to share her special ability, the direct perception of the flow of mana. Cha Yunwoo was astonished by Yul's revelation and immediately questioned the origin of such innate power. Cha Yunwoo speculated that it might be a rare bloodline skill, an ability not possessed by everyone. Bloodline power is passed down through generations, allowing descendants to awaken extraordinary skills at critical moments. Cha Yunwoo recalled Yul's words, realizing that her ability to sense mana was also a form of such innate talent. Cha Yunwoo remembered his older brother, who possessed perfect adaptability, someone who could harmonize with any type of mana as if it were instinct. Instead of struggling like ordinary people, his brother controlled mana as skillfully as a true expert. It was precisely because of those superior traits that the legendary entity Kalidas chose him as his successor. The ability to communicate with all things allows him to grasp the fundamental skills of Kalidas that are otherwise unreachable to ordinary people. Yul continues to explain mana, likening it to a river, while magic acts as the volume of water flowing through the dams. Cha Yunwoo repeats the keyword about mana reservoirs in surprise, just as a system notification suddenly pops up. The system announces that Cha Yunwoo has cleared Section A as a solo player and has received the well-deserved karma reward. Karma continuously accumulates, and Cha Yunwoo's stamina and mana are completely restored following his impressive feat. Cha Yunwoo stands before the massive gate, realizing the importance of karma in the harsh world of this tower. Despite having accumulated a large amount of points, Cha Yunwoo remains unsatisfied and is determined to collect even more. Cha Yunwoo looks down at the crowd below, where hundreds of players are gathered in the waiting area. The surrounding players are resting, many of them bearing wounds sustained from the trials. A harrowing scene unfolds as many players lie collapsed, their bodies covered in severe injuries after the battle. A blood-stained foot protrudes from the wreckage, serving as proof of the brutality that the players must face. Other players whisper among themselves about Cha Yunwoo, unable to hide their astonishment at his appearance. Cha Yunwoo coldly urges Yul, demanding that she enter quickly instead of standing around hesitating. Yul breathes a sigh of relief, feeling as if a heavy burden has been lifted after finally escaping the death zone. Yul cannot hide her emotions, murmuring that she has finally managed to clear this trial. Yul's eyes gleam with determination as she looks forward with newfound confidence after surviving. Meanwhile, another group of players watches Yul with wary and curious eyes. The atmosphere becomes tense, those nearby simply look at each other in silence, unable to believe what they have just witnessed. Yul narrows her eyes, her expression clearly showing coldness and severity. Yul grits her teeth, anger welling up within her. Cha Yunwoo coldly cuts off all ties with his former teammates, asserting that they are no longer related to him. Cha Yunwoo instructs Yul on in-depth knowledge regarding the flow of mana. Yul demonstrates a deep understanding of magic that surprises Cha Yunwoo, even though he still finds the concepts quite vague. Cha Yunwoo asks Yul about the simplest way to perceive magic. Yul admits that she has mastered mana for so long that it is difficult for her to convey that experience to Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo decides it is time for them to part ways now that the instructions are complete. Yul waves goodbye, officially going her separate way from Cha Yunwoo. A mysterious figure suddenly approaches, causing Yul to pause in caution. Cha Yunwoo turns his head and calls out to Yul to start a new conversation. Bill's gaze bored deep into the young man. It was as if the boy had seen through the ambition hidden behind the calm facade of the group before him. The young man introduced himself as an executive member of Orangdan, and Bill proposed that they enter the waiting room in Zone B together. Surprise was evident on the faces of Bill and his teammates when they learned that Orangdan wanted to recruit them, an organization that once held absolute dominance in the tutorial level. But the situation suddenly flipped. Those soulless puppets became invulnerable, pushing Bill and Yul into a life-or-death crisis. Bill realized they were facing imminent death, and completing the tutorial had now become an impossibility. Bill glanced at Yul with calculated intent, a cruel plan beginning to take shape in his mind. Yul remained on high alert with his sword in hand, completely unaware that the real danger was coming from Bill himself. In Bill's eyes, Yul's magic analysis ability was nothing more than that of a useless person hiding in the back, not worth bothering about. Suddenly, Bill's rough hand grabbed Yul, leaving him panicked and confused about what was happening. Bill coldly shoved Yul toward the horde of puppets, turning Yul into a scapegoat to carve out a path for his own survival. Yul looked back in shock, the bitter sting of betrayal evident in his trembling blue eyes. While Yul was left behind to face death, Bill and his accomplices heartlessly turned their backs and fled. As time passed, Yul never expected to still be alive and cross paths with Bill, the man who betrayed him all those years ago. Bill acted with disdain, not even bothering to address Yul's questions about their past. Yul could not hide his disgust. He spat out a sarcastic remark, demanding that Bill get out of his sight. Bill proposed a temporary truce, suggesting they pretend not to know each other until the tutorial round ended. Suddenly, Bill bowed his head and apologized to Yul with deep sincerity, an act that left everyone stunned. Yul still could not believe his eyes, questioning Bill about the true motive behind this performance. Bill desperately begged Yul to keep what happened between them a secret, the fear clearly showing in every word Bill spoke. Bill's group collectively bowed and pleaded with Yul, hoping he would keep silent about the event from years ago. Bill remained cold, uninterested in Bill's excuses and wanting him to disappear immediately. Bill and his cronies slunk away, retreating in utter humiliation. Bill remained bitter, terrified that the truth about Yul being used as a sacrifice would destroy his standing within Orangdan. Bill's gaze turned vicious, silently thinking that if Yul let anything slip, he would have to finish him off for good. Anxiety was etched on Bill's face as he weighed another brutal plan to eliminate him. Bill told himself that disposing of Yul a second time wouldn't be nearly as difficult as the first. This area was quite deserted. It was the perfect opportunity for Bill to take care of Yul discreetly. Bill drew his sword, confident that others wouldn't recognize Yul, making it easy to wipe him out. He just needed to frame Yul as a casualty in the boss room, and he would erase all traces of his own crimes. Cha Yunwoo coldly exposed the truth, leaving Bill trembling as he brought out the dark secrets of the Blue Flower Island. Bill didn't even have time to react, only able to gasp in shock as he saw his own hand severely injured. A scream of agony rang out. Yul looked at Bill writhing in a pool of blood, unable to hide his shock. Cha Yunwoo stood there, the blade in his hand still stained with blood, forcing Bill's accomplices to recoil in terror. Cha Yunwoo mused that he could have left in peace, but the betrayal aimed at Yul forced his hand. In Yul's eyes, Cha Yunwoo saw the shadow of someone else, a pain he could not simply ignore. It was his poor younger brother, the one who had to suffer the blades of betrayal from his own comrades. Those nearby began to panic, wondering when Cha Yunwoo had appeared without anyone noticing. The two culprits gripped their hilts tightly, facing the suffocating pressure radiating from Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo coldly delivered a stern warning: those who dare to stab others in the back must pay with their own hands. Bild gritted his teeth in hatred, unable to accept being humiliated by Cha Yunwoo in front of his own men. In a fit of rage, Bild swung his sword and lunged forward, determined to finish off Cha Yunwoo right then and there. Cha Yunwoo observed calmly, his eyes beneath the mask showing no ripples despite the murderous intent of the attack. In the blink of an eye, Cha Yunwoo stopped Bild's blade, his overwhelming power leaving his opponent stunned. Cha Yunwoo parried the attack, coldly challenging Bild to keep struggling in vain. Cha Yunwoo's gaze turned icy, declaring that he would make sure Bild would never be able to walk again. Bild's lackeys trembled, attempting to intervene, but fear had completely overwhelmed their reason. Cha Yunwoo replied with chilling indifference, asserting that the rules they set were the very same rules he would now impose upon them. Under such immense pressure, the remaining thugs could only tremble and obey the order to drop their weapons to the ground. Cha Yunwoo emphasized his demand, his voice filled with such killing intent that the enemies had no other choice. Bild screamed in despair, begging for mercy while still unable to believe what was unfolding. Swords fell to the ground, putting an end to the arrogance of those who once relied on their numbers to bully others. Bild's accomplices stammered and begged, pleading with Cha Yunwoo to show mercy to Bild. Cha Yunwoo let out a scornful smile, looking down upon the cowardice of those who were so aggressive just moments ago. A swift, decisive kick landed, leaving Bild with no time to react. Bild collapsed to the ground, his agonizing scream tearing through the air as Cha Yunwoo completely overwhelmed him. Bild lay slumped on the ground, having completely lost the ability to resist. Bild's accomplices could not believe their eyes, horror etched across their faces as they witnessed Bild's fate. Cha Yunwoo showed no mercy, delivering a finishing blow that left Bild utterly subdued. The battle ended swiftly, leaving the perpetrators in disgrace and paralyzed by extreme fear of Cha Yunwoo's power. Bild and Bild both showed visible, sheer terror as they witnessed Bild's overwhelming strength right before their eyes. Without letting Bild recover his senses, Cha Yunwoo rushed forward like a whirlwind, pinning Bild into a corner with terrifying pressure. Cha Yunwoo lunged forward, the blade in his hand poised to strike his opponent directly. Beneath his white mask, Cha Yunwoo's eyes gleamed with a cold, intense focus locked onto his target. With a swift, decisive swing of his blade, Cha Yunwoo dominated the pace, leaving his opponent no room to react. A scream tore through the air as the opponent collapsed to the floor in agony right before Cha Yunwoo. Without a hint of hesitation, Cha Yunwoo sheathed his weapon, his expression remaining as calm as if nothing had happened. Cha Yunwoo delivered the finishing blow, wiping out those who stood in his way in a mere blink of an eye. Yul stood there, stunned, witnessing the scene unfold with an expression of pure disbelief. Even though Yul knew Cha Yunwoo was strong, he still couldn't believe his eyes at the overwhelming power displayed. Cha Yunwoo glanced at Yul, coldly mocking him for the vacant, stunned look on his face. Cha Yunwoo nonchalantly advised Yul to be more cautious of others before walking away. Yul stared blankly at Cha Yunwoo's retreating back. Grateful for the help, Yul couldn't hide his admiration and vowed to become as strong as Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo didn't look back, simply continuing his steady stride. Cha Yunwoo gave a brief instruction, telling Yul to head to the flower garden in Prisia. Cha Yunwoo asserted that it would be a place of great benefit to Yul. Cha Yunwoo continued walking, leaving Yul standing there in a daze. Yul clenched his fist, engraving the name of the flower garden in Prisia, as mentioned by Cha Yunwoo, into his memory. With a determined gaze, Yul seemed resolved to follow Cha Yunwoo's advice. In another corner, Riku sat observing everything with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Riku smiled enigmatically, as if he had seen through everything that was happening. Riku looked intrigued, his gaze fixed intently on the events that had just transpired. Riku didn't forget to wake Kyoto up, demanding that he stop dozing off. Kyoto let out a weary yawn, his face still heavy with sleep. Kyoto complained about not being able to get a decent night's sleep. Riku asked Kyoto if he had witnessed what went down earlier. Kyoto admitted that they had already predicted the outcome for those arrogant fools. Riku was surprised to learn that Cha Yunwoo had taken them all down single-handedly. Riku affirmed that Cha Yunwoo had handled them cleanly, making it look as if he were a lone player. Riku smirked, revealing that the one who had been defeated was actually just a mere candidate. Having seemingly found a target of interest, Rika hinted at a calculated collaboration. Kyoto appeared hesitant, unsure about the prospect of going up against those wearing the blue and white uniforms. Riku scoffed at Kyoto's caution, maintaining his usual flippant attitude. Kyoto looked at Riku with wary eyes, clearly not a fan of Riku's eccentric tendencies. Rika kept his knowing smile, as if he had already pinned down exactly what Kyoto was thinking. Faced with Riku's suggestion, Kyoto could only utter a sigh of helpless skepticism. Kyudo chuckled, seemingly accustomed to Riku's high-risk way of doing things. Cha Yunwoo stood before doors of different colors, knowing he had to make a choice for his journey. Memories of his brothers surfaced, and Cha Yunwoo recalled his brother's choice of the blue door. Refusing to follow in his footsteps, Cha Yunwoo decided to head toward the mysterious black door instead. The only goal right now is the blood-sucking short sword. The system notification echoes, and Cha Yunwoo officially enters the black path. Before Cha Yunwoo lies a massive lake. The first challenge has begun. This is the lake of Cheonjeong-su, a place harboring unfathomable dangers. Cha Yunwoo tosses a small stone into the lake to test the water's reaction. The stone hits the surface, creating unnatural ripples across the water. The sound of the stone's impact confirms Cha Yunwoo's suspicions about the abnormality of this place. Cha Yunwoo realizes that the pressure and density of the water here far exceed what a normal human can withstand. Activating the Dragon Eye skill, Cha Yunwoo observes every shift in the surroundings with intense focus. Cha Yunwoo continues to move forward, cautious with every step he takes. Cha Yunwoo places his hand against the cliff wall, feeling the vibrations from the surrounding environment. Cha Yunwoo finds a hidden entrance and does not hesitate to venture deep inside. Everything is ready, and Cha Yunwoo embarks on a journey fraught with peril. System notification confirms that Cha Yunwoo has officially entered the labyrinth. Cha Yunwoo focuses intently, and finally he finds exactly what he needs. It is white moss, a rare medicinal herb that is also highly hazardous if one does not know how to handle it. White moss carries the soul of the moon, becoming a primary food source for many creatures. However, for humans, consuming white moss directly only results in severe stomach pain. Thanks to the secret left behind by his brother, Cha Yunwoo knows how to turn white moss into a useful ingredient. Creatures that consume white moss have evolved, allowing them to release thermal energy and harness the power of the moon. Cha Yunwoo is analyzing the properties of the white moss. According to his deduction, this moss possesses water attributes, and if combined with a monster's heart, it will create a miraculous medicine to strengthen bones and muscles. Facing the giant centipede, Cha Yunwoo clearly recognizes the frailty of the human body. To Cha Yunwoo, this physical form is too vulnerable, prone to illness, and easily destroyed. But Cha Yunwoo has found a way to completely change the situation. He craves a sturdier frame and more durable muscles to fight effectively in this harsh environment. To achieve that power, Cha Yunwoo tightens his grip on the knife. His gaze turns cold and sharp, determined to carry out his daring plan. Without wasting another second, Cha Yunwoo lunges forward instantly. A lightning-fast strike from his hand tears through the air, aimed directly at the intended target. Cha Yunwoo understands that he needs the white moss and the monster's heart to recreate his body. The hunt has begun, and the giant centipede is the key for Cha Yunwoo to undergo his transformation. 0. Cha Yunwoo faces a terrifying threat known as the Red Centipede. With its armored shell and razor-sharp senses, the creature turns the dark cave into a lethal hunting ground. 1. The system abruptly triggers a hidden quest, Ice and Fire. Cha Yunwoo is forced to eliminate the monsters threatening the ecosystem's balance, with rewards entirely dependent on the number of targets defeated. 2. The Red Centipede lunges with lightning speed. Its sheer ferocity makes the very air tremble. 3. Cha Yunwoo nimbly dodges the fatal strike. The blade in his hand is ready for a counterattack. As the blades collide, Cha Yunwoo is shocked to realize how incredibly reinforced the Red Centipede's shell truly is. He exclaims in disbelief at its toughness. 5. Cha Yunwoo quickly assesses the situation. Ordinary attacks are useless against the creature's durable armor, and attempting to pull his knife out now would be a grave mistake. 6. With time running out, Cha Yunwoo knows he must end this battle quickly before his stamina runs dry in this bottomless cavern. 7. A strange light glints in Cha Yunwoo's eyes. The Dragon Eye skill is activated. 8. The Red Centipede continues to roar, slithering menacingly through the shadows. 9. Thanks to his Dragon Eye, Cha Yunwoo spots the fatal weak point hidden deep beneath the Red Centipede's armor. 10. Closing the distance, Cha Yunwoo approaches, his eyes locked onto the target. 11. The opportunity lasts only for a split second. Cha Yunwoo reminds himself to time the finishing blow perfectly. 12. The Red Centipede raises its hideous head, readying for an all-out assault. 13. Cha Yunwoo places his hand on the Red Centipede's body, feeling the creature's heartbeat. 14. Channeling all his strength, Cha Yunwoo drives his blade deep into the identified weak point. 15. The sharp blade rips through the air, hurtling straight toward its target. 16. The strike lands with devastating power, embedding itself deep into the Red Centipede's flesh. 17. Cha Yunwoo is stunned. His blade is blocked by a second, inner layer of armor. 18. Sheer surprise flashes across Cha Yunwoo's face as the Red Centipede reacts instantly. 19. The Red Centipede lashes out with its legs, forcing Cha Yunwoo into a corner. 20. The powerful impact sends Cha Yunwoo flying, causing him to lose his footing and sustain heavy damage. 21. Fresh blood spills from Cha Yunwoo's mouth. Bone-chilling pain surges through him after the collision. 22. Cha Yunwoo struggles to get up, breathing heavily. With 4 fractured ribs and 2 broken vertebrae, every movement is excruciating. 23. On top of that, a wound on his left thigh causes relentless bleeding, posing an immediate threat to his life. 24. Faced with death, his cold-blooded state activates, granting him absolute calm focus. 25. Cha Yunwoo grips the hilt of his knife, his eyes cold and filled with resolve. 26. The red centipede roars, preparing to deliver the final blow to the heavily wounded Cha Yunwoo. 27. Unfazed, Cha Yunwoo lunges directly into the maw of the red centipede. 28. With the blade embedded deep inside, Cha Yunwoo is determined to destroy the red centipede from within. 29. With one decisive slash, Cha Yunwoo takes down the red centipede on the spot. 30. Cha Yunwoo focuses intently, observing the red centipede carefully. He identifies the creature's fatal weakness at the joint not covered by the hard shell. 31. Without a moment's hesitation, Cha Yunwoo tightens his grip on the knife, ready to deliver the killing blow to the red centipede's weak spot. 32. The sharp blade pierces straight into the red centipede's abdomen, sending green blood spraying everywhere. 33. Putting all his strength behind the strike, Cha Yunwoo plunges the knife deep into the giant creature, causing the red centipede to writhe in agony. 34. A gruesome tearing sound echoes as Cha Yunwoo grinds his blade deeper into the red centipede's shell. 35. The red centipede screams in vain, its life force fades with every strike from Cha Yunwoo. 36. The red centipede collapses to the ground, its massive body lying motionless while Cha Yunwoo remains standing, wary of any movement. 37. After the life or death battle, a totally exhausted Cha Yunwoo collapses onto the ground, still clutching his weapon. 38. The red centipede's hideous head twitches one last time before finally going still. 39. The last spark of the red centipede's life has been completely extinguished by Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo removes his mask, revealing a weary face, yet his eyes remain filled with unwavering resolve after overcoming the trial. Cha Yunwoo's gaze sweeps over the debris scattered across the ground. Cha Yunwoo reaches out and picks up something from amidst the ruins. Without hesitation, Cha Yunwoo brings the item looted from the red centipede's remains to his mouth and swallows it. A brilliant blue surge of energy erupts from Cha Yunwoo's body, signaling that he is absorbing the power. Cha Yunwoo senses the changes within his body, his expression becomes more composed after absorbing the energy. The excess energy dissipates, restoring silence to the space surrounding Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo stares at the remaining item in his hand, a crystal glowing with an eerie light. Cha Yunwoo takes a deep breath, preparing for his next steps within this labyrinth. Elsewhere, a mysterious man appears visibly annoyed, demanding an update on the status of his subordinates. The 2 subordinates are in a miserable state, unable to respond to their master. The man cannot hide his anger at seeing his meal ruined. He thinks with contempt that whoever dared to touch his people must be looking down on the Orangdan faction. He interrogates his subordinate, confirming the details about the one responsible for this incident. Upon hearing news of the man in the white mask, this man begins to ponder deeply. Footsteps echo, signaling that Cha Yunwoo is on the move. Cha Yunwoo's firm steps lead him forward, without a hint of hesitation. The man decides to hunt down Cha Yunwoo himself to settle the score. His gaze filled with murderous intent, a confrontation between him and Cha Yunwoo seems inevitable. Cha Yunwoo has just swallowed the heart of the red centipede, triggering a powerful hidden effect thanks to its resonance with the white moss. Cha Yunwoo's shattered bones are healing at lightning speed, not only recovering completely but also becoming stronger than ever before. Cha Yunwoo's torn muscles undergo a vigorous recovery, becoming more resilient after the bone-crushing agony. Cha Yunwoo exhales in relief as the painful process of bodily reconstruction finally comes to an end. In his mind, Cha Yunwoo realizes that the hidden pieces helping to reinforce his skeletal structure and muscles, like the flame heart or the frost sigil, are slowly coming within reach. Although the quest is only 1.5% complete, Cha Yunwoo notices that his body's recovery rate is proportional to his steadily increasing strength. Cha Yunwoo is surprised to receive a massive amount of stats from hunting the red centipede, however, his low mana remains a weakness that must be addressed. Cha Yunwoo understands that even though his current skills are useful, in the long run, mana will be the key to survival that he must master. To fully absorb the power of the ancient dragon Kalatus, Cha Yunwoo realizes that mana is an indispensable element, holding special value within the bodies of dragons. Cha Yunwoo decides to observe the situation, understanding that just sitting around and thinking won't solve the problem. Cha Yunwoo's physical resistance skill is most effective against external impacts, helping him minimize damage and pain. Cold-blooded trait allows Cha Yunwoo to maintain his composure while training. Having to endure constant pain wears down Cha Yunwoo's willpower, forcing him to master this skill to gain better control over himself. The ability to resist poison, burns, paralysis, and hallucinations from this skill is a truly powerful support for Cha Yunwoo's combat style. Cha Yunwoo continues to check his remaining skills. The battle will skill helps Cha Yunwoo accelerate his thinking process, allowing him to make quick decisions in fierce battles. The ability to make quick decisions was the key to survival that helped Cha Yunwoo live through the encounter with the Red Centipede, though it could also be a double-edged sword if his judgment were flawed. Cha Yunwoo was satisfied with the D+ skill rank he achieved right from the tutorial stage. Cha Yunwoo adjusts his mask, ready to face the next challenges within the dungeon. The ultrasonic bats charge in to attack, but Cha Yunwoo reacts quickly. The system notifies Cha Yunwoo that he has successfully hunted 147 ultrasonic bats. The carcasses of the bats lie scattered at Cha Yunwoo's feet, marking the overwhelming result of the hunt. Cha Yunwoo begins collecting loot, gradually getting used to the harsh pace of this place. Cha Yunwoo gathers the teeth and claws of the ultrasonic bats as valuable materials. Cha Yunwoo prepares a specially formulated solution from white moss and the red centipede's venomous blood according to his calculations. Cha Yunwoo pours the solution over the pile of collected teeth and claws. A chemical reaction occurs immediately as the solution begins to envelop the materials. The solution boils vigorously, emitting a powerful aura of magic. Finally, everything transforms into monster powder with fire attribute properties, ready to create a devastating explosion once triggered. Cha Yunwoo carefully collects the newly crafted powder into his pouch, preparing yet another powerful weapon for the journey ahead. Cha Yunwoo rechecks the magical powder he just crafted and carefully stows it in his side pouch. Cha Yunwoo's eyes are thoughtful, he is weighing his next objective on this journey. Beneath the dark soil, swarms of green ants surround their eggs, creating a chilling sight. A worker ant is diligently tending to the eggs, its sharp mandibles moving incessantly. Cha Yunwoo recognizes the sacrificial nature of the worker ants in defending their nest. Can Cha Yunwoo face hundreds of enemies alone at once? Cha Yunwoo's true goal is not the ants, but the precious treasure hidden inside this room. It is Batori's blood-sucking dagger, a notorious weapon that once struck terror into many players. This is a top-tier artifact, one of a kind throughout the entire tower. Cha Yunwoo becomes determined he must obtain it at any cost. If he cannot face them head-on, Cha Yunwoo will resort to trickery. Cha Yunwoo moves swiftly, his silhouette flickering in and out of the shadows. The worker ants look on in confusion as Cha Yunwoo vanishes from their sight. Cha Yunwoo swings his arm, tossing the magic powder right into the middle of the ant swarm. A cloud of dust engulfs the poor ants, who still have no idea what is happening. Cha Yunwoo flicks his lighter, and a small flame ignites in his hand. Cha Yunwoo lunges forward, preparing for a surprise attack. The fire erupts violently, incinerating the swarm of ants in the blink of an eye. The system notifies that hundreds of ants have been eliminated by the explosion and the sea of flames. Cha Yunwoo grips his weapon tightly, his icy gaze piercing through the smoke. Cha Yunwoo doesn't stop, continuing to charge in to finish off the survivors. Cha Yunwoo's blade swings, slicing the worker ants cleanly in two. Cha Yunwoo glances at the hatching eggs. The brutality of the battle is clearly visible. Even after eliminating a portion, the number of remaining worker ants is still overwhelming. Cha Yunwoo tells himself he will deal with them after retrieving the blood-sucking dagger. An imminent danger forces Cha Yunwoo to remain on high alert. Cha Yunwoo narrows his eyes, focusing on the shadow approaching him. Heavy footsteps echo, and Cha Yunwoo stands his ground, ready to face the challenge. A massive shadow looms over Cha Yunwoo, emanating an overwhelming pressure. A sharp blade descends from above, tearing through the air. The giant ant emerges. The real battle has only just begun for Cha Yunwoo. Cha Yunwoo quickly draws his weapon, his cold eyes hidden behind the white mask, ready for a life-or-death struggle. A murderous aura fills the air as the system issues a warning. The blue queen ant has appeared, its terrifying pressure right before Cha Yunwoo. In the dark tunnel, a sudden system notification appeared, confirming the presence of a boss-level monster. The Queen Blue Army Ant had officially revealed itself. The Queen Blue Army Ant displayed a ferocious appearance with sturdy blue-black armor, long antennae, and menacing fiery red eyes, ready to crush anyone who dared to stand in its way. Cha Yunwoo, wearing a white mask that covered his face, quickly drew a sharp dagger from its sheath, preparing for a swift attack on the Queen Blue Army Ant. He glanced around, calculating an escape route in his mind. Cha Yunwoo believed there must be a secret door hidden deep within this ant tunnel. Facing the Queen Blue Army Ant, Cha Yunwoo remained calm, his eyes darting across the glowing fireballs, searching for the door leading to an exit. And then, amidst the fireballs and the legs of the Queen Blue Army Ant, Cha Yunwoo found the door he had been searching for. Cha Yunwoo activated his ultimate skill as sharp claws emerged from his hand, emitting a faint blue light, ready to tear apart the Queen Blue Army Ant. With terrifying speed, Cha Yunwoo unleashed a powerful slash, creating a white streak of light that tore through the air and plunged straight into the Queen Blue Army Ant. Cha Yunwoo's deadly slash struck directly into the Queen Blue Army Ant's armor, producing a blinding flash of light and a deafening crash. After the attack, Cha Yunwoo maintained his stance, his resolute gaze piercing through his mask, ready for the next developments. The Queen Blue Army Ant frantically swung its legs to attack, but Cha Yunwoo swiftly dodged, leaving only a faint blur of light behind. Close-up shot revealed a deep gash on the Queen Blue Army Ant's leg, proving that Cha Yunwoo's attack had inflicted significant damage. The Queen Blue Army Ant staggered and fell, its abdomen revealing severe wounds, dazed after Cha Yunwoo's fatal blow. Without hesitation, Cha Yunwoo seized the opportunity, rushing towards the door, leaving the Queen Blue Army Ant struggling in pain. Cha Yunwoo reached out and gripped the old wooden door, opening a new path, a new journey awaiting him ahead. Stepping into the new space, Cha Yunwoo cautiously observed, his eyes beneath the mask gleaming with vigilance towards the unknown. He entered a grand hall where blue flames blazed in the lanterns, illuminating the majestic statue of Bathory in the center of the room. The statue of Bathory, the vampire queen, appeared eerily enchanting with serpentine hair and sharp fangs. In her hand was a glowing dagger, said to be her beloved blood-sucking dagger. Information about Bathory's blood-sucking dagger appeared: one-handed weapon, unique raid, capable of draining an opponent's vitality. Cha Yunwoo told himself that he had finally found it. Bathory's blood-sucking dagger was the hidden piece that would significantly close the gap between him and the top players. He continued to analyze, noting that even if it only provided the bleeding effect through blood mark, this dagger still boasted superior attack power and above-average performance. However, the true value of this treasure lay in the dagger's final option, which was currently sealed. The statue of Bathory appeared powerful, with the snakes on her head appearing lifelike, showcasing the terrifying power of the vampire queen. Cha Yunwoo bowed his head in thought, his contemplative gaze hidden behind the mask, considering his next steps with the newly found treasure. He reached out and firmly gripped the hilt of the glowing, blood-sucking dagger, determined to conquer its hidden power. The moment Cha Yunwoo touched it, a dark energy swirled around his arm, indicating that the dagger was attempting to control its wielder. Cha Yunwoo frowned, trying to resist the dagger's encroachment. He knew that Bathory's dagger would choose its own master, and if not chosen, one's mind would be devoured by it. He recalled that his brother had done extensive research to find out how new players could control the blood-sucking dagger. Cha Yunwoo placed his hand on the crimson stone pedestal, the blue light from the dagger still enveloping it. He thought to himself, if others saw this, they would surely call him a madman. The blue light from the dagger enveloped him as Cha Yunwoo tightened his grip on the hilt. A surge of dark energy erupted around his arm. Dark energy from the dagger spread down his arm, covering Cha Yunwoo's hand as he placed it on the ground. It turned out that Bathory's blood-sucking dagger was not an ordinary weapon, but rather the name of a skill, an incredibly difficult skill to master. Bathory was so greedy that she didn't want to pass on her favorite weapon to anyone, even after death. Therefore, she sealed its true form and abilities, leaving it behind for the world. And now, that seal had been broken, as the dagger's true form erupted, transforming Cha Yunwoo's hand into something horrifying. Cha Yunwoo looked at his mutated hand, silently confirming that this was the true form of the blood-sucking dagger. Cha Yunwoo let out a soft sigh, his eyes gleamed with determination. Then, isn't it time for me to feast? Cha Yunwoo growled, his mutated hand gripping the ground tightly, preparing for an attack. A small insect monster was sliced in half by a lightning-fast blade, a desperate shriek echoed. Cha Yunwoo stood firm amidst the swarm of fallen small insect monsters, with even the Queen Blue Army Ant having collapsed at his feet. The Queen Blue Army Ant lifted its head, its crimson eyes wide with terror. It shrieked in despair. Cha Yunwoo gazed down coldly, the dagger in his hand still gleaming with a deadly aura. Without hesitation, Cha Yunwoo leaped onto the back of the Queen Blue Army Ant, plunging the dagger straight into its chitin armor. He continued to hold tight, using all his strength to thrust even deeper, making the Queen Blue Army Ant writhe in agony. The dagger in Cha Yunwoo's hand suddenly glowed bright red. It began to siphon the life force from the Queen Blue Army Ant. Dark and crimson energy enveloped the Queen Blue Army Ant as Cha Yunwoo activated the dagger's life-draining ability. Eat! Cha Yunwoo commanded, his eyes piercing through his mask, full of coldness and ruthlessness. The system confirmed the target's life force and vital energy are being extracted. The Queen Blue Army Ant continued to be drained, dark energy swirling violently. After its life force was completely drained, the Queen Blue Army Ant slowly withered away. The skill Bathory's blood-draining dagger has leveled up to 1%. The Queen Blue Army Ant was completely obliterated, reduced to nothing but a withered corpse. The system announced you have hunted the boss monster, Queen Blue Army Ant. Additional karma will be awarded, and you have received karma. The fighting spirit of the Blue Army Ant swarm was clearly waning. Cha Yunwoo still stood there, his hands still lingering with dark energy, surrounded by dying small insect monsters. Can places like this even exist? A voice echoed in the dark cave. At least he can find such places. Riku asked Kyudo suspiciously, "Hey, are you sure this is the right place?" Kyudo replied, a little annoyed, "I already told you. If you don't believe me, shall we go back then?" Riku slung his arm around Kyudo's shoulder, teasing with a laugh, "Hey, who said we should go back? Why are you so unapproachable?" Anyway, Riku mused, his gaze growing more serious. Riku looked down at the fallen small insect monsters scattered at his feet, exclaiming, Cha Yunwoo has been hunting these relentlessly. Riku couldn't help but admire. Cha Yunwoo was truly astonishing. How can he have gotten so strong so quickly? Kyuto added, I don't think the monsters suddenly got weaker either. Even just looking at the remnants, the monsters Cha Yunwoo had faced before were definitely no weaker than the recent ones. Kyuto pondered thoughtfully, his eyes reflecting his apprehension about Cha Yunwoo's incredible power. Kyuto called Riku Hyung with a worried tone. Riku agreed, deeming it not something to be taken lightly. A robust segment of a giant insect's body appeared, looking as if it had been crushed. Immediately after, a close-up showed the sharp teeth and antennae of another insect monster, exuding a ferocious aura. Riku wondered about Cha Yunwoo's energy-draining ability, as even they hadn't researched it. Kyuto pondered if there was a hidden piece involved, while Riku couldn't believe that Cha Yunwoo had not only cleared Area A solo but also obtained an artifact or skill from a hidden piece. Riku continued to muse, realizing that someone like Cha Yunwoo was incredibly rare. He knew that rumors about Cha Yunwoo would soon spread throughout the training area, and many guilds would seek to recruit him. Riku was determined to secure Cha Yunwoo for their side before it was too late. Suddenly, both Riku and Kyuto startled and looked up, their eyes wide with astonishment. Before them was a dark cavernous cave where a swarm of small insect monsters with glowing red eyes were lurking. Riku turned to Kyuto, an enigmatic smile gracing his lips, while Kyuto maintained a tense expression.